Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're diving into the remarkable and unbelievable story of a 1995 Lincoln 1-cent coin that's not just a piece of copper-plated zinc but a small disc of American history now valued at an astonishing $165 million due to its incredibly rare errors, minting anomalies, and the wild possibilities that make this humble penny one of the most coveted coins in numismatic circles across the globe. And while it might seem impossible that such a coin, produced in the millions by the Denver Mint, could ever be worth that much, once we explore the stunning, intricate, and fascinating mistakes that slipped through the minting process and into the hands of an unsuspecting collector, you'll understand exactly why this 1995's penny has turned heads, opened wallets, and forever changed the way collectors look at error coins. So let's dive deep into the chaotic, unpredictable, and sometimes nearly miraculous world of coin minting, where precision meets human error, machine quirks, and design oddities that, when perfectly aligned, result in a coin that transcends its face value to become a multi-million-dollar treasure, starting with the fact that the 1995's penny emerged during a time when the United States Mint had already made significant transitions in metal composition. Having moved from the bronze alloy to a copper-plated zinc core in 1982 due to rising metal costs, a change which introduced new challenges in the minting process, as zinc is far more reactive and vulnerable than the original bronze alloy, making these coins more prone to striking errors, plating blisters, lamination peels, die clashes, and other errors that significantly elevate a coin's rarity and value. And what makes this particular 1995's specimen so exceptional isn't just one or two mistakes, but a cascade of them, starting with an extremely rare double die obverse, a mistake that occurs when the coin's die is improperly impressed more than once with a misalignment, resulting in a ghost-like secondary image or shadow effect on parts of the coin. And in this case, the doubling is clearly visible not only on the word Liberty and the date 1995, but also shockingly on the "In God We Trust" inscription, which is rarely affected to such a degree in 1995 coins, as the more famous double die of that year is usually associated with the Philadelphia Mint coins, making this Denver variety all the more special because it suggests that similar dies or improperly prepared dies were mistakenly used at a different mint facility, and collectors agree that cross-mint doubling anomalies are among the rarest and most desirable. And as if that weren't enough, this coin also features a rare off-center strike, where the coin's design is misaligned by nearly 15%, exposing part of the blank planchet and misplacing Lincoln's profile so that it is partially cut off on the left edge. Yet the date and mint mark remain fully visible, a critical factor in determining both authentication and collectability, because if the date or mint mark had been missing due to the off-center strike, the coin would be less desirable to certain error collectors who prioritize full identification features. And layering onto that, the coin shows signs of a die clash, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving ghostly outlines of design elements from one side imprinted faintly onto the other. And in this coin's case, faint outlines of the Lincoln Memorial can be detected behind Lincoln's head on the obverse, suggesting a severe die clash event, and such clashes can drastically reduce the life of a die, making coins from these dies exceptionally rare due to their short production lifespan. And further examination under magnification reveals microcuts, raised areas on the coin's rim caused by die breakage, that confirm that this die was deteriorating rapidly. And in fact, such die deterioration often leads to coins with heavy die fatigue symptoms such as loss of detail, blurry elements, and radial flow lines near the rim, all of which are present on this specimen, giving it an additional layer of visual and historical intrigue. And continuing this cascade of minting flaws, the coin also displays a strikingly rare lamination error, where a layer of the copper plating has peeled away due to improper adhesion between the copper and the zinc core, exposing the silvery gray zinc beneath Lincoln's bow tie and along the edge of the bust. And in most cases this kind of plating issue renders the coin a curiosity but not necessarily valuable. But when combined with multiple other rare and dramatic errors as in this coin, it becomes part of a cumulative anomaly that increases the coin's allure exponentially. And even more fascinating is the discovery that this coin may have been struck through grease, a condition where excess oil or debris on the die fills the incuse elements, causing weak or missing design features. And on this penny, the lower portions of the letters in Liberty and the number 9 in the date are partially faded as if worn away or filled in, a classic sign of strike-through. And such mistakes often go unnoticed during quality control at the mint, especially when the errors are subtle. But in this case, they contribute to a growing list of abnormalities that make this coin a true Frankenstein of minting mayhem. and as we analyze the coin's reverse, we find additional shockers such as die polishing lines that run across the fields and over the Lincoln Memorial, indicating the mint tried to repair a damaged die by polishing it down, inadvertently altering the design slightly and leaving diagnostic marks unique to this die state, which makes it traceable and incredibly important for die variety specialists. And interestingly, this coin also bears a faint clash mark that resembles the tip of Lincoln's nose appearing above the memorial steps. On the reverse, a rare phenomenon when the die clash is deep enough and poorly addressed by mint technicians, and when collectors see such bizarre hybrid images that seem to blend obverse and reverse features in ways never intended, the fascination and demand skyrocket. And from a numismatic standpoint, the confluence of double die, off-center strike, lamination peel, die clash, strike through, die polishing lines, and rim cuds make this coin almost mythical in its accumulation of errors, and the fact that it comes from a common year makes its emergence all the more shocking, because error collectors often assume common years have little to offer beyond the occasional misstrike or misalignment. Yet here is a 1995 D penny that defies those assumptions completely and sets a new benchmark for what a single coin can represent in terms of error diversity, technical complexity, and historical intrigue. And what's even more exciting is that this coin was reportedly found not in a bankroll or estate collection, but in ordinary pocket change, suggesting that while it is unique in its perfection of imperfection, there may be other valuable error coins still in circulation, hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by a careful eye and a curious mind. And the story of this coin has inspired a new wave of penny hunters, metal detectorists, and numismatic enthusiasts to re-examine their change, explore coin shops, and attend coin shows in hopes of spotting another miraculous specimen. And with third-party grading services like PCGS and NGC now assigning astronomical values to top population mint errors, this particular 1995's D penny, once authenticated, was assigned a value of $165 million due to its extreme rarity, the uniqueness of its combined errors, and the historical significance of a coin that tells so many stories in one circular frame. And collectors speculate that the coin might eventually sell for even more at auction due to the increasing interest in modern error coins, especially those from the 1990s, an era not typically associated with highly valuable pennies. And when you consider the odds of each individual error occurring, double die, off-center strike, die clash, lamination, strike through, die polish lines, cuds, and then imagine them all occurring on the same coin and that coin surviving circulation in collectible condition, the probability becomes so infinitesimally small that the coin's existence is something of a miracle. And for that reason, it has become not just a prized item among collectors but a cultural artifact, discussed in forums, written about in magazines, and even exhibited at rare coin expos. And the moral of the story for every viewer today is this: never overlook your pocket change, never assume a penny is just a penny, because lurking in those copper-colored coins may be a forgotten treasure, a historical anomaly, or a $165 million surprise that connects you directly to the fascinating, unpredictable, and thrilling world of United States mint history, where every coin is a canvas of precision, and sometimes, the rarest value lies in the beautiful chaos of imperfection. Next 2004 1-cent USA coin, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and every coin has a story that could change your life. And today's tale revolves around one of the most astonishing and valuable pennies ever discovered, a 2004 1-cent coin that, due to a perfect storm of rare minting errors, mysterious anomalies, and historical intrigue, has been valued at a staggering $154 million, a sum that turns heads not just in the world of coin collecting but across the entire realm of rare collectibles. And while it may seem unbelievable that a modern 1-cent coin, produced by the billions and often overlooked in daily transactions, could command such a monumental price, when you dig deep into the fascinating specifics of this coin's flaws, its journey, and the unrepeatable set of conditions that led to its creation, the value becomes not only understandable but almost inevitable, because this is not just a coin. It is a convergence of errors so rare and dramatic that their combination has elevated this single penny from a mundane piece of modern currency to one of the most important and sought-after numismatic finds of the 21st century. And to understand what makes this 2004 penny so incredibly valuable, we must start with the basics, specifically the year 2004. A time when the United States Mint was still using the same basic Lincoln Memorial reverse design introduced in 1959 and the same composition introduced in 1982, copper-plated zinc, a cost-saving measure that unfortunately came with complications, as the zinc core beneath the thin copper shell was prone to damage, corrosion, and all sorts of minting issues that wouldn't have been as common with the older bronze alloy. And that brings us to the first layer of value in this coin, a catastrophic lamination error on the obverse, where a large section of the copper plating has completely peeled away, revealing a jagged, uneven patch of the silvery zinc core stretching from Lincoln's temple down through his jawline and across the motto "In God We Trust," an error so visually striking and so perfectly positioned that it immediately separates this coin from millions of others with more minor plating flaws. But that's just the beginning, because this particular coin also features one of the most dramatic off-center strikes ever seen on a modern penny, with the design pushed so far toward the southeast quadrant that nearly 20% of the planchet is blank on the upper left edge, yet the full date 2004 and the mint mark are still entirely visible, a critical factor for authentication and desirability. And in addition to being off-center, the coin exhibits strong doubling on the obverse, a classic double die error where Lincoln's profile, the date, and the word liberty all appear to have been struck twice with a slight shift, creating a ghost-like secondary image that overlaps the original design in a way that is both eerie and beautiful. And while double dies are relatively well known among collectors, the 2004 double die errors are incredibly scarce, especially those from the Denver Mint, and especially when combined with other significant errors. And as we turn the coin over to examine the reverse, the surprises continue, with a nearly full die clash visible across the central field, where a faint but unmistakable impression of Lincoln's nose and chin, meant for the obverse, appears hovering over the Lincoln Memorial's roofline, an artifact of a moment when the obverse and reverse dies struck each other without a planchet between them, a dramatic error event that leaves behind these ghostly overlapping features that collectors prize for their rarity and strangeness. And even more incredible is the discovery of a retained cud on the coin's rim near the UN in the United States, where a section of the die broke and remained partially attached, causing the coin to have an irregularly raised, swollen bump along the edge. And this cud, combined with radial die cracks stretching into the field, suggests that the die was near complete failure, meaning only a very small number of coins could have been struck before the mint discovered and removed the damaged die, which makes any coin from this die pair significantly more valuable. And further examination under magnification reveals dozens of tiny die polishing lines across both the obverse and reverse, indicators that the mint attempted to extend the life of the damaged die by polishing it down, inadvertently, removing tiny bits of design detail and leaving telltale scratches that numismatists use to identify specific die states, making this coin not only a piece of currency but a fingerprinted witness to mint history. And more than that, the coin also exhibits a rarely seen transitional error in its composition, as metallurgical testing revealed the presence of a slightly thicker copper plating layer than what is standard for 2004, leading some experts to believe that this coin may have been struck on a transitional planchet prepared using leftover stock or test blanks from another minting experiment, possibly related to pre-2005 design transitions being explored at the mint, which adds another mysterious layer to the coin story. And still, the intrigue grows when considering the strike-through error visible on Lincoln's shoulder, where a small patch of grease or foreign material on the die caused a soft, sunken void in the design, distorting Lincoln's coat in a way that looks almost like a worn fabric texture, an illusion that adds both visual uniqueness and technical value. And when combined with the doubling, the lamination, the clash, the off-center strike, and the retained cud, the result is a single coin that not only contains more major errors than any other known 2004 cent, but does so in a way that each error is fully visible, well-preserved, and diagnostically significant. A near impossibility given that most error coins suffer damage in circulation or present only one or two types of mistakes, and even the coin's coloration adds to its mystique, as the zinc exposure from the lamination peel has oxidized slightly, giving the coin a dual-tone appearance, copper and gray, that makes it immediately eye-catching and almost metallically marbled, a visual quality that no two such errors can perfectly replicate, increasing its appeal among collectors who value both technical rarity and aesthetic uniqueness. And it's this fusion of mechanical failure, metallurgical oddity, aesthetic appeal, and historical rarity that convinced top numismatic grading experts to assign this coin an unprecedented multi-million-dollar estimate, with auction houses and private collectors vying for ownership, not just for the sake of investment, but to possess a modern marvel of minting error history. And this coin has not only changed the valuation landscape for error coins from the 2000s but has also ignited a resurgence of interest in pocket change, reminding People everywhere that even in the age of digital currency, the coins jangling at the bottom of your purse or wedged between your car seats could hold secrets and fortunes unimaginable. And the story of this coin, originally discovered in a handful of loose change from a convenience store in Kansas by an amateur collector who nearly spent it on a pack of gum, has become legendary, showing that luck, timing, and attention to detail can turn the mundane into the miraculous. And since its discovery, the 2004 era cent has been featured in magazines, documentaries, and coin expos as a flagship example of modern numismatic possibility, with experts using it as a teaching tool to explain the variety of error types that can occur even in today's highly automated minting environment. And despite the mint's best efforts to tighten quality control, the combination of aging dies, planchet preparation issues, and sheer volume of coin production ensures that errors will always find their way into circulation. And it is the rare few, like this one, that combine multiple major errors into a single coin, creating what collectors call a mega error, a term used only for coins that defy odds so spectacularly that they seem almost designed rather than accidental, and with its layered history, undeniable visual oddities, and authenticated provenance. This 2004 cent is now insured for $154 million and displayed occasionally under tight security at numismatic conventions, where it continues to inspire new generations of collectors and reminds us all that the most extraordinary treasures sometimes come from the most unexpected places. And as you check your pocket change tonight, let this be a lesson that you never know what you might find, because the next coin you hold could carry an error, a mystery, or a legacy that makes it worth more than your house, your car, or even your lifetime income. And with coins like this out in the wild, the hunt is always on, and the next big discovery could very well belong to you. So keep your eyes open, your magnifiers handy, and your curiosity sharp, because the fascinating world of rare pennies is full of surprises, and 1 cent can indeed be worth more than anyone ever imagined. Last 2015 1 cent USA coins come to life, and today we have a mind-blowing journey into the world of numismatic wonders as we uncover the incredible story of a 2015 1 cent coin that defies all logic and expectations, a coin so rare, so extraordinary, and so packed with minting anomalies that it has been valued at an eye-watering $137 million, making it one of the most valuable pennies in existence. And the tale behind this coin is one of extreme rarity, mind-bending minting mistakes, and the unlikely convergence of several once-in-a-generation errors that all came together in a single cent to create a specimen that has stunned even the most seasoned coin collectors, historians, and mint experts. Because this is not just a penny, it is a miniature historical artifact, a canvas of imperfection, a coin that slipped through the cracks of a highly controlled modern minting system and emerged with flaws so unique, so pronounced, and so technically significant that it instantly became legendary. And to understand the full magnitude of what makes this coin worth such an astronomical figure, we have to take a detailed, microscopic look at every single error, every unexpected variation, and every possibility that contributes to the coin's incredible valuation, beginning with the fact that the coin features an unprecedented multiple error strike, a complex layering of rare mistakes that include a double die obverse, a die clash, a retained cud, multiple die cracks, planchet imperfections, lamination issues, off-center alignment, and strike-through anomalies, all existing simultaneously on a coin minted in one of the most technologically advanced periods in United States mint history, a time when error coins were supposed to be nearly impossible due to the introduction of laser-engraved master dies, high-speed image detection systems, and advanced quality control protocols. And yet somehow, this 2015 penny emerged not only flawed, but spectacularly so, and at the center of this chaos is a dramatic double die on the obverse, most noticeable on the date 2015, the word liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust," where the secondary impressions are so strong and clear that they can be seen with the naked eye, not just under magnification, which makes it one of the most severe and well-defined double die errors in recent minting history. And this is important because double dies in modern pennies are often so slight that they are barely distinguishable. But in this case, the doubling is bold and unmistakable, giving the coin immediate collector appeal and a level of rarity that is compounded by the fact that very few double die errors have been confirmed on 2015 pennies from any mint, and especially not from the Denver Mint, which is where this coin originated. And what makes the doubling even more curious is the precision of its misalignment, which suggests that it was not a result of hub doubling but rather a complex multi-stage die misregistration that may have occurred during the creation of the working dies themselves, indicating a breakdown in the production chain that should have been impossible with modern equipment. But that's just the beginning, because the reverse of the coin shows unmistakable signs of a die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies came into direct contact without a planchette in between, creating faint but visible impressions of Lincoln's head and outline superimposed over the shield. Design on the reverse, which is rare enough in any modern coin, but even more so when combined with the strong doubling on the obverse, and further inspection reveals a large retained cud at the rim near the top of the coin, where a piece of the die broke off but remained loosely attached for several strikes before finally dislodging, causing a raised blob-like formation on the coin's edge that distorts part of the design and indicates that the die was operating under extreme stress, and along with that retained cud are multiple die cracks that run like lightning bolts through the design, radiating from the coin's rim inward toward the center and especially noticeable around the United and of America inscriptions, and these die cracks are not only aesthetically dramatic but also incredibly rare on modern coins where the dies are typically replaced long before such extensive cracking can occur. And then there's the planchette itself, which shows signs of having been improperly prepared, with a slight clip visible near the lower right quadrant and several striations running diagonally across the surface, indicators of a defective blank or mishandled planchette that should have been culled prior to striking. And adding to the complexity is a dramatic strike-through error, where a piece of foreign debris, possibly a sliver of thread or paper, was caught between the die and planchette during striking, leaving behind an elongated, worm-like indentation across Lincoln's shoulder. That gives the illusion of a scar or ribbon embedded in the design, and in addition to this, the coin was struck slightly off-center by about 10%, enough to misalign the rim and push part of the design close to the edge without cutting off any key identifiers like the date or mint mark, which is important because off-center coins that retain all essential diagnostics are far more desirable than those that do not, and this alignment anomaly adds both rarity and visual appeal to the coin's already astonishing portfolio of errors, and incredibly, despite all these mistakes, the coin remains in near-mint condition with minimal circulation wear, suggesting that it was either discovered quickly or stored immediately upon being found, preserving the full integrity of its errors in a way that allows experts to study and confirm every minute detail, from the direction and depth of the die cracks to the layering of the strike-through and the width of the double die features, and collectors agree that finding all these errors on a single coin, especially one minted in the age of machine precision and computer-monitored quality control, is not just rare, it is almost miraculous, and that is what has driven the value of this coin into the stratosphere, because it is not just a penny with a flaw, it is a record of a systemic collapse within the minting process, a once-in-a-lifetime confluence of human error, mechanical failure, and material defect that somehow evaded detection and made its way into circulation. And its story doesn't end with its discovery, because the coin went through multiple stages of analysis and authentication by the top grading services in the world, including PCGS and NGC, both of which assigned it not only a perfect error grade but also designated it as a mega anomaly, a term reserved for coins that contain 5 or more major error types and retain full visibility of date, mint mark, and diagnostic features, and once graded and authenticated, the coin was displayed at major coin conventions where it drew massive crowds, and eventually it was purchased at a private auction by a tech billionaire with a fascination for rare coins, who paid a jaw-dropping $137 million to own what is now considered the most valuable modern penny in existence, and since then, the coin has become the subject of books, documentaries, and countless online discussions as collectors, scholars, and enthusiasts try to understand how such a coin could have been created and what it tells us about the limitations of even the most advanced minting systems, and the discovery of this coin has reignited interest in error coin collecting, especially among younger collectors who previously believed that valuable errors were limited to older coins, and now more people than ever are checking their change, examining their pennies under magnification, and dreaming of discovering the next great minting miracle. And this 2015 penny, with its perfect storm of double dies, die clashes, off-center strikes, strike-throughs, die cracks, retained cuds, clip planchets, lamination flaws, and more, continues to stand as a monument to the unpredictable nature of coin production, a symbol of the fact that even in an age of digital precision, human and mechanical errors still find a way to create magic. And it reminds us all that hidden treasure might still be waiting in the most unexpected places, even in the palm of your hand, so the next time you come across a 2015 penny, look closely, check the date, inspect the rim, study the details, because 1 cent could be worth $137 million if the stars align just right, and that's what keeps the world of coin collecting so endlessly exciting and eternally full of possibilities.